and avoid his own defeat. So how could this lead to Aerith surviving? Well, Sephiroth knows that Aerith's death is a huge catalyst for Cloud and the group to begin their planet-saving journey. And so by not killing Aerith, Sephiroth can avoid Cloud going on a path of vengeance. That may sound counterintuitive, but there's an even more compelling reason for him to keep Aerith alive. In her final moments, Aerith calls on Holy, the white magic that prevents Sephiroth's meteor from destroying the planet. So perhaps, if Aerith lives, Sephiroth could manipulate her into using Holy for his own nefarious purposes. In Remake, it's not just Sephiroth who's hinted to know the events of the original story though. It's suggested that Aerith does too.
But this isn't the way it's supposed to be. There's no greater threat to the planet than him.
She's presumably not going to be very happy with that version of events and wants to do everything she can to survive. It may be that Rebirth is a battle between heroes and villains who already know the path of destiny, with each trying to do everything they can to twist a new fate into something that benefits them. Aerith knows her sacrifice eventually leads to Sephiroth's defeat, and so it seems likely she'll need to formulate a new plan in which she can both survive and ensure his demise. Perhaps we'll be in for a story in which Aerith calls Sephiroth's bluff, coaxing him into a false sense of security by staying alive, then thwarting his plans in a way that adds a brand new story layer to this reimagined version of Final Fantasy VII. It may be that Square doesn't subvert expectations and instead sticks to classic events, but even if Aerith does die in Rebirth, she could simultaneously survive. Thanks to the destruction of the Whispers, a second, altered timeline was created in which Aerith's old boyfriend Zack Fair survived. It seems like we've seen moments from this new reality in Rebirth's trailer, such as this scene where Avalanche are captured by Shinra in Midgar, something we know that didn't happen during Remake. Katase confirmed to IGN that there will be a new episode with Zack that will contain even more of him than the remake. It stands to reason then that this altered timeline will play a major part in the events of Rebirth. With Zack alive, Cloud won't be able to assume his false identity and fall down the soldier rabbit hole. And so perhaps it's Zack, not Cloud, who joins Avalanche in this reality. And from there, perhaps this version of the party's journey completely avoids Aerith's tragic fate. Maybe all it took was for Zack to survive and to secure a more hopeful future for Midgard's Flower Girl. We know that we're going to see two timelines play out in Rebirth. It makes sense that one will feature more radical changes than the other. Perhaps we'll see two fates for Aerith, and a story that makes it clear which path of destiny is the most important for Midgard's Flower Girl to tread. Perhaps Zack's timeline will be the one with the most changes, but my hands-on showed that the regular remake timeline will continue to undergo several key alterations. When I arrived at Junon, the classic bottom swell boss that attacks Priscilla on the beach has been reimagined. In Rebirth, the boss, now renamed Terror of the Deep, is actually attacking Yuffie instead. This location is now where Cloud and the party will meet the Materia Thief for the first time, which is entirely different to how Yuffie is recruited in the original game. If the events at Junon are now different, then there's every chance that the events at the Forgotten Capital will be too. When discussing the Final Fantasy VII Remake project, it's important to remember that the name Remake has a double meaning. It doesn't just refer to Square Enix remaking an old game for a modern console. It also symbolises the character choosing to remake their own destinies. The Final Fantasy VII timeline has literally been remade, and so it should be assumed that the name Rebirth will also represent multiple concepts. In an interview with IGN, Katase explained that the name was thought of as the next iteration that also kind of encapsulated this sentiment of reimagining or recreating. That explains the development side of the title then, but what about the in-game meaning? A resurrection could also be considered a rebirth. Perhaps then, just like Barrett, Aerith can be resurrected. During his final confrontation with Cloud in Remake, Sephiroth delivers a cryptic message.
7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
It's a confusing monologue, but it could well be another piece of evidence that points towards Sephiroth knowing his future. During the Forgotten Capital events of the original game, it takes exactly 7 seconds for Sephiroth to fall from the sky and impale Aerith with his sword. And so it seems like Sephiroth is taunting Cloud. He'll just have 7 seconds to intervene and save Aerith. Will Cloud ever learn what Sephiroth meant? Will he have time to formulate a plan to prevent Aerith's death? Do those 7 seconds definitely refer to this climactic moment? I guess we'll have to wait till Rebirth to find out. And those are 7 reasons why we believe Aerith could survive in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
And Rebirth
Do you have
is
any theories
right
of your
around
own?
the
Have you
corner,
spotted
man.
even more
I'm
evidence in the
excited
trailer that
for
we've
this
missed?
one.
Let us know in the comments. And for more on Aerith and Final Fantasy VII, why not check out our documentary
hoping it
about the
lives up to the
resurrection of
hype.
Aerith, including all the urban myths and the fans that have been desperately trying to bring Aerith back to life for the last 25 years.
Magic sure is weird.
A Mako Spring.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but if we keep using Mako to power our homes, springs like this will disappear, right?
Naturally formed materia. And look at the size of it. Astounding.
I've always wondered, how does materia let you cast spells exactly?
How did you ever get to be a soldier? To put it simply, the knowledge of the ancients is sealed within each orb. That knowledge not only connects us to the planet, it allows us to tap into her power. That's how we can use magic. Or so they say.
Really? Magic sure is weird.
I know someone who'd be livid to hear you call it weird, or magic for that matter. I can just imagine what he'd say. It's an affront to science.
Who?
Hojo from Research and Development. His predecessor was a great man, but he is anything but. We should press on.
And if you like that video and you want to see more Final Fantasy VII, why not check out our documentary about the resurrection of Aerith, featuring all the urban myths about her resurrection and the fans that have been trying to bring her back since 1997.
I did not think for a second I was going to be impressed by the PlayStation Portal. Sony's small screen remote play
All right, the
solution
PlayStation Portal.
with remote play already working great on tablets
it's
and phones,
alright.
and controller solutions like the
Nothing-
Backbone designed
nothing too wild
specifically
about it.
for playing console games.
I haven't
remotely.
played it in a while,
the
so
Portal seems like a solution
played
to a
with it.
problem no one had. Why spend $200 on a single-purpose device when there are much cheaper solutions already available? And yet, after spending time with the PlayStation Portal, I gotta say, this thing rules. That's not to say I wouldn't change anything about it. In fact,
To
it
each
has
their
some
own.
missing features that make me scratch my head, but initial skepticism has been replaced by enthusiasm.
I mean, how much enthusiasm? There's not much you can do with the thing.
First
No,
off, when it comes
actually,
to
really,
the just use your phone argument against
nothing
the
is
Portal,
like the
that
PlayStation
disintegrates
in your hand.
once you see the screen. Now, it's not OLED, which is a bummer, but it's an extremely high quality 8-inch LCD screen. That is much bigger than my iPhone 13 Pro Max, and it really looks fantastic. Colors are extremely vivid and absolutely pop. There's no smearing or ghosting whatsoever. And when things are in motion, they look exactly like you'd expect them to look. The viewing angle too is quite nice. You can freely tilt it in whatever way is most comfortable while you're using it without losing color or detail. Everything just looks crisp and alive on the screen, and I really do prefer it over using remote play on my phone. On the opposite extreme, if you use remote play on a full-size tablet, yes, you get a bigger screen. That might be the best way to strike the perfect balance between portability and screen real estate, but you still have to supply a controller, which, given the fact that you clearly own a PS5, probably not that big of a deal. However, the advantage of the Portal over a tablet is you get the good-sized screen with a controller built right into an all-in-one solution, so you can hold the Portal and play your games in any position you like. Because it's effectively a DualSense with the middle stretched and turned into a screen, the Portal is instantly familiar to feel and use. It even has the DualSense features like vibration and resistive triggers. The only feature it's missing is the touchpad, but a quick tap of the screen brings up a virtual replacement. But the functionality of every part of the traditional DualSense controller is right there, literally at your fingertips. The Portal comes in at roughly 1.17 pounds. For comparison, my iPhone 13 Pro Max with backbone weighs in at just under 1 pound. I was actually surprised at that result when I popped it on the scale. I seriously thought it was less than that because it feels very light and comfortable without coming off as cheap, and I never got tired of holding it. I used it sitting on my couch, laying in bed, even at the local coffee shop, and I never felt like I needed to put it down and take a break. Since it is so much lighter than I was anticipating and the screen is really bright, I wasn't expecting much from the battery life. If the notoriously short-lived DualSense is anything to go by, it was never going to be amazing. I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, Astro's Playroom, and Spider-Man 2, swapping between them over the course of my battery test without ever shutting down the Portal, and I got 4.5 hours of use with the brightness turned to 100% and the volume at around 50%. The Nintendo Switch OLED gets roughly the same battery life under ideal conditions, and the Portal easily beats the Steam Deck, which often struggles to hit 2 hours. However, both of those devices are doing much heavier lifting than the Portal, which isn't doing any major graphical processing. Personally, I feel like that's plenty of time before having to plug it into the USB-C port for power. No doubt that number could be greatly increased by turning the brightness down and the controller features like vibration and trigger reactions off. As has been pointed out many times, the PlayStation Portal shortens to PSP, which is an initialism shared by Sony's first dedicated handheld gaming device that came out way back in 2005. Old. But the Portal is definitely not a shot across Nintendo's bow, because the Portal only plays games via remote play, so it's not like you can play it on the go. There's no version with a cellular connection, or without also owning a PlayStation 5. There is literally nothing else it can do. That seems like a bit of a bummer given the $200 price tag. I'd have liked to at least be able to watch Netflix or YouTube on the Portal, but all media functions are disabled on Sony Remote Play. The PlayStation Portal will only play games and let you navigate PS5's menus, so without a PS5 at the ready, the Portal is a paperweight. It's also completely bonkers that this thing doesn't have Bluetooth. If you want to listen to your games without everybody in the room hearing them along with you, you're going to need either a wired headset, which sucks, it's 2023, or you'll need one of Sony's proprietary PlayStation Link compatible headsets or earbuds, which also sucks. Add to the suckiness the fact that those earbuds and headset aren't even out yet. Hey, but don't worry. The earbuds come out December 6th. Oh wait, but do worry, because they cost $200 on their own. Wait, actually, the next Pulse headset is $149, so that's a little bit of a savings. But oh no, they don't come out until the end of February 2024. What the hell, Sony? At least this problem has an expiration date, unless you don't intend to buy the Sony headphones. But it's gonna be frustrating for early adopters. I really cannot understand why Sony didn't include Bluetooth. If it's a cost-saving measure, it's a bizarre one, given there's still some kind of chip in there broadcasting Sony's sound tech, so I don't think that's the case. Plus, Bluetooth is super cheap and it's in everything. My shoe has Bluetooth. It's made all the more frustrating by the fact that the single worst part of the Portal is its built-in speakers. They sound flaccid and underpowered with little in the way of audio range. I do appreciate they are stereo speakers, and in games that use stereo effects, it is actually noticeable. But otherwise, the sound is really underwhelming, and at full volume, it sounds blown out. My phone's speaker sounds better, and hey, I can pair my phone to my Bluetooth headset. Setting up the portal is extremely easy. You just need to make sure your PS5 is set up for remote play first, then you power on the portal, connect to Wi-Fi, wait for it to download the update and restart, then wait for it to apply the update and restart again, and then follow the prompts to pair it to your PlayStation 5. Okay, yes, that sounds like a hassle now that I say it all out loud, but it's not like you can mess it up, and it's a process you only need to do once. The other thing you need to do is make sure your PlayStation 5 is in rest mode and not completely powered down, or else it won't turn on and connect when you pick up your portal. The first time I connected, it took a few moments to find my PlayStation 5, but when it did work, it worked flawlessly. It's so cool to be able to use my PS5 in what is otherwise a completely normal way, but on a bright, beautiful, portable screen. The first game I played was, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and my initial worry was, some of the text would probably be too small to read, but the 8-inch screen proved to be just big enough to see everything, even the smaller text. I hadn't actually gotten around to playing Spider-Man 2 yet, and it turned out to be an awesome showcase for the portal. The smaller screen obviously minimizes the scale of the earliest boss battle, but for being able to play while lying down on my couch, I'll take that trade. I also played NHL 23 and found it incredibly fun on the small screen as well. Didn't have any issues with text or menus, although a little hard to see some of the action around the net on that 8-inch screen. If you've used remote play before, you know the single biggest bottleneck in performance is the quality of your Wi-Fi signal. I have a decent Wi-Fi router, yes, it's the one provided by my ISP, okay, and never once did the signal drop out while using the portal in my living room. However, in both Spider-Man and NHL, there was a noticeable drop in frame rate in moments where the action got really fast, although it was very brief. Occasionally, I'd spot the resolution drop down for a tick or two, but again, that was only during the fastest and most heated parts of the games. The only time the stream really struggled was when I was downloading a game. I wanted to test the portal's battery life against Astro's Playroom's awesome DualSense controller features and went to re-add it to my library. Since my PS5 is connected wirelessly, the added bandwidth of a game download brought remote play to its knees, even losing connection once or twice before picking it back up again. Once the download was completed, everything returned to normal. Moving away from the router to my bedroom, where I have less than stellar Wi-Fi coverage, the problem got pretty bad. It was no fault of the portal, it was wholly because I haven't set up enough access points to give it a good enough signal. At this point, I had switched to playing Final Fantasy VII Remake exclusively, and there were occasions when the streaming buffer was working so hard, the resolution drop made text completely unreadable. The moral of the story is that if you're planning on getting a PlayStation Portal, you should make sure your household Wi-Fi coverage is in top form anywhere you're going to want to play it. Sony also recommends you have a 15 megabits per second or greater connection for best results, but the minimum requirement is 5 megabits per second. After establishing the portal works great in most of my house, I packed it up and took it to Dunkin' Donuts, which as a New Englander, I am required by law to visit at least once per month. I'd hoped to test its performance on public Wi-Fi, but this was a total bust. Dunkin', like many chains, airports, libraries, hotels, and other locations offering guest Wi-Fi, requires you to visit a website and acknowledge its terms of service before allowing you onto their network. And the portal has no web browser to allow such an interaction. That is a huge bummer because pretty much any place you'd want to use it outside your house is going to require that initial login page. This seems like something that could be handled in a future update, but for now, you are out of luck. However, one of the locally owned coffee shops in my town has free Wi-Fi with no such requirements, so I took the portal in for a cup of coffee to see if it worked as advertised. Getting on their Wi-Fi was easy, but connecting to my console back home took long enough that I was worried it wasn't going to work. But once it did, it worked incredibly well. In fact, it worked almost as well as it does at my house when both devices are on the same network. This was the turning point for me, where I went from, well, this is kind of neat, to This is actually rad. There I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake from the PS5 in my house in a cafe across town, and it was nearly indistinguishable from the experience at home. Again, that's something that can certainly be done on your phone or tablet, and those are also able to get past that login screen, but none of them feel as good to hold and play as the Portal. The PlayStation Portal is the most surprising device I've ever come away from loving after going in loaded with skepticism. It's such a better experience than using your phone with a slap-on controller, and it works so much better than I was anticipating. I really love the freedom it gives me to play my PS5 from anywhere with decent Wi-Fi coverage, especially when the rest of my family was using the TV to, somewhat ironically, play Nintendo Switch. Bearing in mind that it's in no way a standalone device and 100% requires a PlayStation 5 to function at all, the biggest things keeping this Portal from being a truly amazing device are its current lack of a way to access Wi-Fi that requires a web browser to log in, and its lack of Bluetooth support for audio. For now though, it is a great device that represents the best current solution for PlayStation Remote Play, and if it
Blessings, my brother.
Caveats,
Blessings,
I'd call
blessings.
this a must-own device for every PS5 owner
How's it
who
going?
enjoys playing games on handheld or has to compete for the household TV. For more handheld goodness, check out our review of the Steam Deck OLED, and for everything else, keep it right here on IGN.
There are tons of remakes being made these days, but what does that word really mean? Well, lots of things. While the recent Resident Evil remakes have been mostly faithful modernizations of the original, Final Fantasy VII Remake is more like a complete reinvention. It boldly swaps the traditional turn-based combat of the 1997 original with exciting real-time action, and expands the first act of the classic story into a full game by adding dozens of hours of character development and world building. And also a bit too much filler. It may not be a perfect reunion, but with or without nostalgia in play, this is still a great JRPG in its own right. Final Fantasy VII Remake zooms in on the first hours of the original game, which takes place in the city of Midgar.
Oh, yeah.
Here,
Oh, yeah,
Cloud Strife
yeah,
and his
yeah, man. The
freedom-fighting allies
Xbox
battle the
news.
evil Shinra Corporation that run it. And that
You know,
conflict has been stretched into
some
a campaign that took
transparency
more than 33
is
hours to
warranted.
complete. It has spectacular style
So,
within and
I
out of its
am
epic cutscenes, and
Definitely
an
looking forward to
extremely
it next week
phenomenal
as
soundtrack.
well. So that, so that everyone can get
As a big fan of the
a
original's
clear
turn-based
picture
battles, I
of
was
the future of
thrilled to find
Xbox
that Remake's
where
revamped
it's headed.
combat still proved to be endlessly engaging. Flashy basic attacks charge up things called ATB.
You know, when it
bars, which then let you
when
use
it
your
comes to
team's
me,
unique
I don't
weapon
get too
abilities,
much
equipable spells, and items from the comfort of a slow-motion menu. It's extremely
much
different,
into the
but there's still
emotional
a
side of
tension to
things,
every choice that truly
that,
reminded me of
that
the
I can't
original's
control.
frantic decision-making moments.
But
And you
I
can't
can
just
understand,
mash square. Part of that is because
where a lot
filling
of
up an
people are
enemy's
coming
stagger
from, their
gauge will make them take
frustrations
extra
and-
damage for a time.
And all the rumors, etc., etc. So we're just
We've
gonna
seen it in
have
games
to
before, but the clever twist here is that every enemy staggers in a
back
different
and
way. Learning those differences
enjoy the
kept combat
fireworks,
fresh
right?
the whole way through. That variety is a big part of why its epic multi-phase boss fights
Now,
are
I do
so
have my
incredible,
thoughts
too.
and opinions.
These powerful enemies push you to learn tricky patterns, and the way they seamlessly blend in cinematics always put a smile
But
on my
also
face.
to just keep in mind that it's just rumors. And I can see why some people are saying, okay, Phil Spencer pretty much
You have a massive amount of
validated
flexibility
the
in your
rumors
party
based on
management
his
thanks to
response on
world-defining
Twitter.
materia orbs and
But
upgradable weapons.
still, at the same time,
Materia can be
we
slotted
still
into any
have
character's
to wait
equipment
and
to give them
see
spells and buffs.
and wait
That's
and hear
important
what he
since your
has to say.
active team of 3
Now,
is
I don't know
entirely
if you
determined by where you
remember
are in the story. I just wish I didn't have to
way
keep
back when
reslotting
we
my
had a
best
stream,
materia every time my party shifted.
and I had mentioned
Thanks
that
anyway.
Phil Spencer should not be the spokesman for Xbox.
Weapon upgrading also had me digging through menus too much, but it's such a cool new system that I didn't mind. New
You know,
weapons are rare, but they upgrade as you level to keep them relevant.
You know, from the time that I
myself
mentioned that
frequently switching
into
weapons as my materia builds and party
you know,
changed.
several
But even
interviews he
Cloud's
had
signature
moving
starting
forward,
weapon, the Buster Sword,
you know,
remained a
there's
solid
it's
option.
just
Rather poetically, it ended up
I
being
don't
my
know.
favorite weapon by the end.
I don't know, man. But it's gonna be very interesting to see to hear what he has to say, and I'm not even sure if he's gonna be the only one.
The visual variety
available
of Midgar's
to,
levels is fairly impressive, ranging from
you know,
dirty
share
slums
with
to
gamers
industrial
what's
Shinra
going on with
facilities.
Xbox.
That said,
But
the
if
level
it's just
design
him,
itself is serviceable but simplistic.
I don't know.
The combat is
I don't-
always a blast, and that keeps momentum
I don't
high.
know, man.
But there's not much else to think about beyond
He
some
said it's gonna
simple
be
puzzles
good
and
because they're
lightly hidden
going to be
items.
making
That
mad
makes
money
the
on
areas you're
Sony.
asked to retread
Yes.
for side quests a repetitive
I
drag.
don't see.
Generally speaking, though, I love
I
that
see
this
it as a
brief
plus.
section of a
I
much
see what
larger
Microsoft
RPG
is
has been
doing.
fleshed out with real character development and
We
a more
all
robust
saw
story.
Okay, I get it.
them
By
drop
letting
the
me
bomb
breathe.
on the floor.
Depends.
We
I
all
loved learning more
witnessed
about Jesse,
a lot of
Biggs,
sheep
and Wedge, and seeing
walk
lively
past that
neighborhoods
bomb,
full of people.
and
One
the main
excellent new
focus
mission
was
has
just
you
on
wrestling
Game
with the
Pass.
decision to
And
turn
like,
off
hold
the
up,
giant
guys, you have
sun
to.
lamps that provide light
You know,
to Midgar's
Microsoft is
slums
pulling
to
the wool over your
progress,
eyes. You
giving
have to
more
lift
direct weight
lift
to
that
your
wool,
group's actions.
and not
What
just
I
focus
didn't
on
love,
one,
however,
just one
was when this remake
aspect
clearly
of
decided it
what
just needed more
Microsoft is
stuff to
doing,
pad out its length,
or
regardless of quality. The
what
dullest
they
of
have
these
planned
by
moving
far
forward.
are when Cloud is asked to do odd jobs around Midgar's
But
slums.
yes,
Suddenly, you're faced
Xbox
with
games on
bottom-of-the-barrel
PlayStation,
JRPG tropes that belittle the
more
high-stakes
exposure,
events around them.
more
A
gamers
shopkeeper literally asks you to
to
kill
play
some
Xbox
rats.
games,
Then there's a little girl who can't
and
find
also
her
on
kitty
Nintendo.
cats. Seriously?
They said that
I think that's a plus.
chasing them.
There are plenty
Now,
more.
where
I'm
we
sure
know
you
where it's
could
stemming
skip these
from,
side
I don't
quests,
know,
But that'll mean you miss
right?
out on extremely valuable
Will we
items and
ever know?
unlocks,
We
and
probably
can
won't
even
know,
influence later scenes
unless
in
Phil
subtle
Spencer
ways.
comes out next
exactly
week
is
and
it
says,
you're trying
"Here's
to
the
say?"
reason why we're moving these Xbox
Anything you
games
can follow orders
to
too.
said platforms,
This pointless
gaming
filler isn't
platforms."
always reserved to just
Now,
side
if they're
quests
trying to
either.
recoup
A handful of the new
money
main missions
from the
similarly push you
Bethesda
through events that
ZeniMax
feel totally irrelevant.
and the
They can be
ABK
amusing
deal, then
diversions, but if you could somehow
that's
skip a few of them
that's
entirely,
pretty
you
much
probably wouldn't
answers a
even
lot of
notice.
questions that were asked in the past. You know, even with the question
Square Enix
around
has
will Game
generally done
Pass
a great job
will
of
Game
making this
Pass be able
originally
to
brief
sustain
Midgar
itself
section feel like a
with
bigger
day and
story.
date?
And showing things like Cloud's cold, murk heart
Or,
over time gives
you know,
vital
did
character development to a part that
Microsoft make
didn't
all
have
its
much
money
in
back
1997.
with those acquisitions, and they're just
It
trying
also
to
raises
make more money.
Tons of unanswered questions. Some
You
of those
know,
are clear nods for longtime
and
fans
say,
that would
hey,
be
you know, let's just
incomprehensible to
make some
anyone
more
else.
money.
But a lot of
Let's
the
put the
totally
games on
new
there.
stuff is
And
convoluted and
that's
confusing
Xbox,
regardless. The way its characters
that's their
want and
vision.
spout
That, I
new
mean, that's part of their
nonsense
vision.
it just
You know, they want
expects you to roll
have
with
their
towards the end of
games
the
on
story can
every
only be
platform.
described
It
as
doesn't matter
some
where.
Kingdom Hearts BS.
And
I say
they're
that as a Kingdom
making
Hearts fan. Ultimately, I would
they're
have liked a
making
more
true to their
satisfying
vision.
conclusion to this
So
story,
if they do decide to
and a better
bring
jumping
these
off point for
titles
its eventual
to
sequel.
or these
Thankfully,
first
reaching
party
the credits
titles
does
to
unlock a hard mode and
PlayStation
a chapter
Nintendo,
select, allowing
that's
you
a
to easily
big,
return
big,
to any
plus.
area with your current
You know?
equipment. Filler or not, I
A
do
big
plan on
plus.
diving
And
back in to tie
also
up some loose ends,
future
or just throw some darts.
titles as well. You know, like Indiana Jones. You
Final
know,
Fantasy VII Remake's
that'd be
combat
insane.
is top notch, and its enemy variety kept me
and they'll
constantly
definitely make a lot of
entertained.
money off
Seeing
that.
this snippet of a story fleshed out with the previously hidden humanity behind Midgar filled me with pure joy.
Now, I
The
don't
dull
believe this is going to
RPG
help
filler
them in
and
the Game Pass
convoluted new plot
area
points that accompany that
I
did stop
just
my
don't
ear-to-ear
see it
grin from being constant,
because
but
I
never
mean,
long enough to kill the mood
it
completely.
might.
This remake still
It
delivered
might
on
because
letting me relive
you
part
know
of the classic
if there's
in
Game
stupendous
Pass,
fashion, while also standing as a great RPG.
well,
all
Game
its
Pass is
own.
already out there. I don't
Be
think
sure to
Game
head over to
Pass is going to be
IGN.com and
on
read
the
our full
PlayStation
written
or the
review of Final
Nintendo
Fantasy VII Remake.
because Sony
Also,
just
be
not
sure
going to
check
let
out
it
some of the new
happen.
cutscenes compared
You
to
know,
the
for their
original,
console.
or watch the first 15 minutes of gameplay.
But
And for everything else, keep
will
right
this
here on
entice
IGN.
players to sign up for Game Pass and not want to pay $70? You know, it's just muddy, man. I guess we just have to wait and hear what he has to say. You know,
Sony had a curious 2023.
It'll definitely
The
answer a
PlayStation
lot
5
of
had
questions
blockbuster console exclusives,
and
such
put
as the
it,
superb
put things
Spider-Man
in
2 and the
perspective.
flashy Final Fantasy 16. It also saw the release of the PlayStation VR 2, an impressive piece of virtual reality
if the
tech,
rumors are
but
true.
one barely supported
Right
by
now,
a
we just
games
don't know if
library.
they're true.
Long-term PlayStation man and current CEO Jim Ryan also stepped down, with his full-time replacement yet to be named. So, what will 2024 have in store? There are plenty of exciting games to look forward to, as well as a good deal of mystery. Let's take a look at what we know is coming next year, as well as theorize as best as we can about what surprises might be in store.
The only catch.
What are you doing in here?
You have a killer.
Nothing like 24 hours of emotional turmoil to wash those winter blues away.
And you know what would be
January may well
interesting?
signal the start of a
If
new year,
Sony
but Sony's
follows
doing its
suit
best to make us question exactly
and
what
put
year
games
it is
like
with
The
yet
Last of
another
Us
The
and
Last of Us
Spider-Man
re-release.
on
The Last of Us
Xbox,
Part
but
2 Remastered is the PS5
what Xbox
version
would
of
you
the
put it
critically
on?
acclaimed sequel
You
that
know?
comes with graphical improvements, previously cut lost levels, and a whole new roguelike mode titled No Return. It's not necessarily a huge
I mean,
splash
does
to kick
Sony
the
have
year
an
off with,
Xbox dev
but there's
kit?
set to be enough new stuff in there for The Last of Us
Microsoft
fans
next
to enjoy
Xbox?
when it arrives on January 19th.
The world's ending. At least, that's what everyone's saying.
From remaster to remake / reimagining, now with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The second installment of Square Enix's Return to Cloud's adventure is scheduled to land on February 29th. Taking us outside the walls of Midgar, Rebirth promises another helping of stellar RPG action that's set to honour the original's beloved cast of characters and unique locations, yet tease us with the different turns it may take on that journey. Just before that though, is console exclusive Helldivers 2, which is coming on February 8th. A third-person squad-based shooter, cooperation will be key as you look to blast away monstrous alien threats from every corner of the galaxy. Pacific Drive is set to skid onto our screens on February 22nd. An atmospheric survival game with a twist, it's a first-person driving game that takes you around an eerie Pacific Northwest as you aim to dodge the metal monsters that lurk in its woods and escape for good. Rise of the Ronin swiftly follows a bumper February when it launches on March 22nd. Team Ninja brings its Ninja Gaiden and Neo action heritage to this stylish sword-slashing RPG that takes place during one of the darkest parts of Japanese history.
A fleeting moment can feel like a lifetime for those caught in its deadly rhythm.
And believe it or not, that's actually all of the PlayStation console exclusives we have release dates locked in for. But that's not to say there aren't others coming in 2024. Among them is the eagerly anticipated Silent Hill 2 remake. Being developed by Bloober Team, hopefully it won't be too long until we see Pyramid Head and the gang again soon. Then there's Stellar Blade, which was meant to have released in 2023. Seemingly taking cues from the likes of Nier Automata and Bayonetta, this Korean open-world action RPG is set to offer ferociously fast combat in a sci-fi setting. Concord is a PS5 console exclusive from Sony's newly acquired Firewalk Studios. Very little is known about this multiplayer shooter apart from a colourful teaser shown off in the summer, but with Bungie pedigree at the studio, it's one to definitely keep on your radar. Ubisoft's Foam Stars is exclusive to both PS4 and PS5 and looks set to give Sony their very own rival to Splatoon. The team-based bubble shooter looks set to be a good time, with enough interesting tweaks to make it stand out from its squid-like cousin. And if the colourful chaos of Foam Stars looks like too much fun to you, then why not check out the excruciating looking Baby Steps? I mean that in the best way possible. From the creative minds behind indie darlings Ape Out and Getting Over It, the physics-based gameplay looks hilariously frustrating as we help one man in a romper suit across a terrain desperate to trip him up at every step. Of course, there will also be a steady stream of non-exclusive games scheduled to head the PS5's way in 2024 as well. These include Dragon's Dogma 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Black Myth Wukong, Tekken 8, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, to name but a few. We certainly won't be running out of things to play next year. After Insomniac brightened our October with the wonderful Spider-Man 2, many of us were hoping that 2024 would give us our first proper look at the studio's upcoming Wolverine game. Sadly, Logan's PS5 adventure has already been partially spoiled by an extensive hacking scheme, which also revealed Insomniac's major Marvel plans for the next decade. It suggests that Wolverine may be further away than we originally thought. But if plans haven't been totally destroyed by the theft of so much data, there's a chance we may see the developer's next game in its Spider-Verse reportedly potentially featuring Venom as the protagonist sometime next year. But what about the games we aren't so sure about? Ones that haven't leaked, or ones that don't have a release date currently penciled in? How about the ones yet to even be revealed by the studios making them? Let's have some fun, take a look into the crystal ball, and speculate like wild.
It's time for you to hit the road and start a new journey.
We know Death Stranding 2, or just DS2 as it is currently named, is on the way. Will it come out in 2024? Who knows? What we do know is that Hideo Kojima's attention will be split between the post-apocalyptic sequel and his freshly revealed OD. But seeing as DS2 got a much more developed trailer a year prior to the Xbox exclusive, we can infer that it could be out ahead of it. However long until DS2, it certainly won't be as long a wait as fans of the 1994 shooter Marathon have endured. Bungie's first team up with Sony since their $3.7 billion acquisition is to revive Marathon's long dormant sci-fi gunplay in the form of the currently fashionable PvP extraction shooter. Apart from knowing it's set in the year 2850 and a glimpse at the beautifully designed trailer hinting at strong art direction, we really don't know much else. It would be a huge surprise to see it in 2024, but we can dream.
You want to know about us? Seems like everyone does.
Hey, Joe, what's going on, man?
Haven Studios, recently founded by Jade Raymond, announced their first game, Fair Games, in the summer
20
of
minutes.
2023. A cooperative heist shooter, it's a PS5.
You ready for that
exclusive
demo, though?
Would be surprised to see released next year. Then there's the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, which has suffered a tumultuous couple of years by all accounts. We'd be shocked beyond belief if this emerged next year, if indeed at all if rumours are to be believed, but we can always close our eyes, use the Force, and will it onto our screens. Who knows? It might work. But what are all the Sony first-party studios up to, I hear you ask? Well, there's a long list of mystery projects to dig through in that regard. We don't necessarily expect any of these developers to release new games in 2024, but we can expect some reveals dotted throughout the year. Let's take a quick look. We know that Naughty Dog has now cancelled their multiplayer The Last of Us game, meaning something else must be in the pipeline. Will we see a new single-player entry into either The Last of Us or Uncharted series? Or maybe something completely new? Sony Santa Monica treated fans to the free God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC at the very end of 2023. But what else does it have cooking up? It's been over 3 years since Ghost of Tsushima.
Derby Entertainment. Do I dare even try it on PS4?
Or perhaps treat us to something new again? What have Returnal developer Housemarque got up their arcade shooter sleeves next? What next for Days Gone developer Sony Bend?
What are we talking
Will
about?
Bluepoint Games reveal another fantastic remake or surprise us with an original project? What wonderfully creative place will the recently reorganized Media Molecule take us to?
What game are we
Astrobot
talking about? We
finally
talking
be
about
released from his shiny
Final
PS5
Fantasy?
prison and be allowed to play with the rest of us? Give that little guy another platform, please.
Final Fantasy
On one hand, it's
7
frustrating to
Rebirth?
not
Is
know
it on
exactly what
PlayStation?
we'll be playing for most of 2024. But on the other hand, it's exciting, and I for one can't wait to find out
I'm
what
not even
adventures these PlayStation
sure if
studios
it's on
and more
PlayStation
have
4.
waiting for us next.
I'm about to look that one up.
With the launch of the PSVR,
Usually
2,
I would
a
be
new
on top of
slimmed-down
that, but
PS5 model, the PlayStation
I'm gonna have to
Portal,
research
the
that one.
DualSense Edge controller, and the PlayStation Access controller, it was certainly a busy tech-filled 12 months for Sony. That means we wouldn't be surprised if 2024 was a quieter year when it comes to new hardware, but that won't stop us from speculating.
what's a
The PlayStation 4 Slim and Pro were released 3 years after the launch of the original PS4. We've just hit that point in the PS5's lifetime and have received the equivalent of the former of those redesigned consoles. That means it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to see a PS5 Pro pop up sometime next year. Although we might not have seen the current model pushed to its limits just yet, we all know
I
we
pulled out
watched
the
that GTA 6
PS2
trailer
earlier
and thought
today.
to ourselves, Rockstar's gonna make my PS5 sound like a jet engine,
The
isn't
memories,
it? With
man.
Rockstar's
I tell
latest
you.
slated for a 2025 release, perhaps a souped up PlayStation 5 hitting store shelves towards the end of 2024 would make for logical timing. Apart from that, it's all pure guesswork. What new tech innovation or fresh piece of
Alright,
hardware
18
would you
minutes,
like to
man.
see from Sony? I think a controller with a battery charge that lasts more than an hour or two would be fantastic.
Alright, so
Let us know
Derp
in the comments
Entertainment,
what
are you
think,
looking
as
forward
well as
to
what games
playing
you're
this
most
game?
excited about playing
Final
on
Fantasy
PlayStation
7
in
Rebirth?
2024.
Is that up your alley, or you're not really a big Final Fantasy?
The world's ending. At least, that's what everyone's saying.
This sky, I don't like it.
Ready
Oh man, you know what? I think the whole Xbox rumor news is just it's too saturated, man. There's so much talk around it. I don't even think I need to really talk about it unless you guys have your thoughts and opinions.
We can overcome
I was talking about it earlier with D Nice, but didn't say too much on it. He says I was looking to try the demo, but if it's not,
think you can find him?
Oh, you talking about Rebirth demo? Man, let me look that up. I don't.
Did you? What are you talking
Well, we don't even know if the demo is going to drop today. It was just a question that I threw out there.
Get together.
So we're just going to have to wait and see.
Chance of finding
But I would just wait and see, man, at the end of the show and see if they drop it and if it's going to come out for the PS4.
You know the truth.
That would be nice, you know, for those gamers who have the PS4 can get it.
Come on.
But I think Rebirth is built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be tough.
Could you look after my friends just for a bit?
You don't. Oh man. Well, I take it you don't have a PS5 then.
A weapon?
Tutelary creatures, set only to appear when the planet is in grave danger.
Planning on getting one anytime soon?
It's upon us. The reunion. When worlds merge. I'm waiting, Cloud.
And then you have the rumors about a PS5 Pro may be announced this year, maybe dropping this year, but you know, who knows. I'm just gonna have to sit back and wait for that. And I would say that as far as price-wise, I would say the PS5 will probably price out at $600.
The truth is out there.
Surprise.
Here.
Man, you're gonna have to start saving up, man. I just have a feeling that that console is gonna be a little, probably up $100.
Charged and ready.
You can't escape yourself.
Wanna fly? Now you see me. Lights out. Howdy.
We're a team. This is only the beginning.
So much power. It's like a fantasy. A sword like this? Now that will really help me cut the power.
Almost an entire year after we last saw Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we finally have a brand new trailer for the second chapter in the remake trilogy. The big closing number for Summer Game Fest gave us a huge look at the story, gameplay, and locations from beyond the walls of Midgar, and there's plenty for fans to recognise, alongside some unexpected surprises. We've studied the entire trailer and compared its scenes against the original game, and these are the 7 major details that you need to know.
Wait.
Let's start at the end with the trailer's big finale. We see the classic scene of young Tifa approaching Sephiroth in the Nibelheim reactor, where she tries to kill him in vengeance for her father's murder and the burning of the town. Just like in the original, Sephiroth cuts Tifa down. New for Rebirth, though, is Sephiroth's voiceover.
I killed her. So, who is she?
This links back to the first trailer for Rebirth, which featured a fraught conversation between Cloud and Tifa.
I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what
12 minutes, guys.
That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
You know, I hope they don't give too much.
Possibly. We know that the remake trilogy is all about changing the original.
I don't know how long this is going to be, but I really hope they don't give too
considering
much.
that we're all expecting Cloud to be the imposter. However, it seems more likely that this is a tactic from Sephiroth
And apparently
to manipulate Cloud
this
and
game
make
is
him
going to take up
distrustful of his
150
comrades.
gigs.
Sephiroth will eventually force Cloud to hand over the black materia, so perhaps this sowing of doubt is all in aid of weakening him ahead of that big moment. The trailer opens on the surprising image of Shinra's guards loading the unconscious, or perhaps even dead, bodies of Avalanche into helicopters. A huge chunk of Midgar lies in flaming ruins around them, and the initial impression is that the team has once again been captured by Shinra. But we know that the group escaped Midgar at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, so what gives? Well, we can see that only Barrett, Tifa, Red 13 and Aerith have been captured. So where is Cloud? This scene could well be from the new timeline established at the end of Remake, where Zack survived his battle with Shinra. With Zack alive, it may be that Cloud never joined Barrett's team, and without Cloud, the group may well have failed to stop Sephiroth at the end of the game. It seems likely that the Zack timeline will play a significant role in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and this is our first hint at that.
Whatever happens, protect your honor. As a soldier! Come and get it!
We know that Cloud and the group definitely escaped Midgar, because the majority of this trailer shows them travelling across a world with much more variety than that seen within the walls of the Steel City. Fans of the original game will recognise many places in this trailer. There's Bugenhagen's Planetarium in Cosmo Canyon, the Mithril Mine, the cargo ship, the Inner Calm, and the Nibelheim reactor. There's also shots of what appear to be the Mako pipeline that runs up to Mount Coral. And with all those stalactites, could this be the Northern Crater? We'll also be paying a visit to Junon, and you can see the High Wind right here, moored above the town's iconic cannon. Before all that though, we'll be stopping by the Chocobo farm, as teased in the post-credits of Remake's intermission DLC.
What is it with these damn birds?
Sorry about that.
No need to apologize, man.
Speaking of chocobos, we'll be able to use them as mounts this time around. Now we're outside of Midgar, we'll be exploring what look like much larger scale environments, and so the added speed of a chocobo will come in handy. This HUD command makes it look like we can call upon them at any time while in the more open regions. While riding them, the contextual chocobo HUD also shows that the big birds can scent and scour, suggesting that they can be used for scouting. Perhaps there's a treasure hunting system or some kind of bounty tracking side activity. The big question, of course, is will there be chocobo breeding? Please Square, don't make us go through all of that again. Early in the trailer, we hear Tifa ask Aerith,
"What's Cloud been doing these past 5 years? Where's he been?"
And you're asking me this?
This is gonna sound crazy, but as far as I know, Cloud was never in Nibelheim 5 years ago.
In the final hours of Remake, we were given the first indication that Cloud isn't who he thinks he is when a soldier in the Shinra building recognized him.
Cloud? Huh? You're Cloud, right? Holy shit! It's cool, bro. We went through training together.
It looks like Rebirth will further explore Cloud's fractured memory and expand upon Tifa's perspective. We know from the original game that Cloud wasn't Nibelheim 5 years ago, but Tifa didn't recognize him because he was a Shinra guard wearing a helmet, not the soldier he thinks he was. What wasn't in the original game, however, was this scene in which Cloud appears as a robed Sephiroth clone, taking part in the Genova reunion ritual. Could this be Cloud's fate in the new timeline where Zack survives? This trailer finally confirms that, after being just a guest party member in Final Fantasy VII Remake, Red 13 will be a fully playable character in Rebirth.
I am that which you see before you, nothing more. I'd appreciate it if we simply left it at that.
He's joined by Yuffie, who returns from the Intermission DLC to create a full party of 6. There's still no sign of Kate Sith, Sid or Vincent, so let's hope that they'll be revealed later rather than hold back for the third game. While the fantastic combat from Remake remains, we can see it's had a few tweaks since we last saw it. Combo moves from the DLC have been fully integrated into the system,
massive.
And we can see several
so I am going to be getting the
such as this one
physical
where Aerith launches
version of
Tifa
the
through a
game,
magical
so I can
dome.
have it in my collection. And I'm also going to get the digital
on the battle hood, a series of 5 horizontal
version
bars,
of it.
but it's not yet clear what.
So
system
Derp
they'll
Entertainment.
build to.
So
We may be missing
you're
Kate
actually
Sith,
going to
Sid,
give
and
up on
Vincent,
gaming?
but
I
there
mean,
are
you
some
giving
other
gaming
fun
up? Is
and
there a
less
reason
familiar
behind it?
faces in this trailer.
Feast your eyes on the Turk's latest and greatest, Elena.
She may be new, but she's still a Turk.
We meet the remake version of Elena, the youngest member of the Turks, in what is clearly the encounter from the Mithril Mine. And later on, we see the grotesque form of Genova Birth, which now seems to hang from the ceiling of the cargo ship like some kind of cancerous barnacle. As with the first game in the remake trilogy, we'll also be seeing a range of new bosses. Here we see Barrett and Red 13 fighting some form of giant rock golem, potentially down in the Mithril Mine. The lack of Cloud in this fight suggests that there will be story sequences in which the party
And the thinker,
splits
you
up
know
and
what time it is, right?
too.
Well, now, I think we will.
So we're gonna be spending a lot of time on this game, man.
And those are the 7
So
major
much
details
time.
that you need to know
I'm
from
gonna
the Final Fantasy
I'm gonna
VII Rebirth trailer.
search
Did
every
you
nook
spot
and
any
cranny
other
of
cool
this freaking
details?
game.
Just look at it all. It's
Leave
so
no
green.
stone unturned.
Even after everything we've done to it, it's still going strong.
It may look that way, but in reality, it's barely hanging on.
The goal is
For more,
to
check
max
out the
this
full
game out.
FF7
I mean,
Rebirth trailer,
I still
and
have
for everything
to.
else, stick with IGN.
I don't think I ever get the platinum for the first one. I don't know, man. He says the kids will be saying, "Oh, you my daddy." I don't know, man. I don't know. You better be careful. You're gonna be like, "Hey, yo, gaming, can I move in?"
There is so much to tell. Where
I'm like,
should
yo,
I
what
even
happened?
Start? With all that we saw, what we heard, what we felt, this planet of ours, destiny, our part in it. Best to start at the beginning, perhaps. Midgar, the city of Mako, ruled by the Shinra Electric Power Company, who drained the planet of its very essence, the life stream, and processed it for industry as Mako. Our world was dying, and so few could hear her cries for mercy. Those who could rose up in her defense. The anti-Shinra rebels, Avalanche. Among them, Cloud Strife, an ex-soldier hired by the
This is my goal is for CPS
to destroy
to be called
Reactor
due to
1.
neglect. That's how much time.
In Sector 8, amidst the
Oh
aftermath of the
man,
attack,
you crazy.
Cloud met a flower seller named Aerith. She offered him a yellow blossom. One said to symbolize reunion. And thus was destiny set in motion. With Reactor 1 gone, Avalanche set their sights on Mako Reactor 5. Unfortunately, they were playing right into Shinra's hands. The company was able to draw the wool over the people's eyes. And in the end, destroyed Sector 7, killing thousands and laying the blame at Avalanche's feet.
You know, I
Though
thought they
dear
did a great
friends were
job
lost,
with the remake.
Avalanche had no time to grieve. Aerith had struck a deal with Shinra, who took her into custody. With her capture, Shinra's obsession was within reach. The fabled Promised Land. For Aerith was the last of the Cetra, the ancient stewards of the planet, and only she could guide them to paradise. To save her, the team infiltrated the Shinra building, the company's beating heart. It was here that I, another prisoner, joined their story and assisted them in freeing Aerith. Yet during our flight, we came face to face with a man thought dead.
They should have special trophies for neglectful dads. Play for 12 hours straight. Award. Gold trophy. F them kids. Oh, that's the name of the trophy? F them kids.
And the catalyst of our plight.
Achievement unlocked.
Eventually, we too made good our escape. The Shinra troopers defeated, we raced toward Midgar's edge. Yet Sephiroth once again intervened. Suddenly, deafening screams rent the air. Whispers, the arbiters of fate, descended upon the city. Before their imposing wall, Aerith warned us. This was Destiny's crossroads. Every moment, every action, every step taken had all been as the Whispers willed it. To fight them was to break free. On the other side of fate, Sephiroth waited. The Whispers...
Alright, 30 seconds.
Cloud brought his blade down on his rival, sundering destiny.
Ho, 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 ho. Do you think they'll talk about it during this State of Play?
A world of boundless freedom.
So,
It was there, beyond where fate could follow, that a new journey
this could be a
began.
different Sephiroth, like you had mentioned. Notice there are some changes. Uh-oh, here we go. Okay, we got the PlayStation logo. Yes, we get it. It's registered. Ah, they making us wait, man. It's gonna be epic. They making us wait. Okay. What in the world is going on? Okay, here we go. Mix of gameplay and
what happened to this place?
It was Sephiroth.
He wants to finish what he started and rule over the planet.
We have to help them.
You coming?
Way ahead of you.
Let's get to work.
I will reclaim our world.
皆さんこんにちは。スクエアエニックスの北瀬義則です。私がシリーズプロデューサーを務めるファイナルファンタジー7の最新作ファイナルファンタジー7リバースがついに2月29日に発売いたします。 本作のストーリーは主人公クラウドとその仲間たちが宿敵であるセフィロスを追いかけ、魔法都市ミッドガルの外にある広大な世界へと足を踏み出すところから物語が始まります。今回のステートプレイではこのゲームの魅力を凝縮した最新のトレーラーをはじめ特別なゲーム紹介映像をご用意しています。また重要なお知らせがありますので、ぜひ番組の最後までお付き合いください。
Oh, so the demo is coming out today. They have a special announcement. I think we're gonna get the demo, man.
Bring me the black materia.
The beginning of the end. The celebration of the faithful. A watershed moment for all mankind.
Hey kids, sorry we're late.
Yeah, will these guys ever give up, man? Man, this looks amazing.
You're going to pay! Now, who wants to be the first lucky lady? Hey, boss! Your guests are here!
At long last, the knave returns.
I refuse to be upstaged a second time, my friend!
Good, Cloud. Very good. Fill your hollow heart with rage.
Oh no. Oh, wait. Wait.
I'm back now, Aerith. I'm back.
We ask that you retrieve it, the black materia, key to our oblivion. Please. It alone can liberate us from this endless dream.
Passing through. You.
Tifa! Whew! Hey guys!
They're getting some sun too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Red, how do we look?
Huh? You should get yourself a reading!
It's gotta be hiding some ginormous materia! Woohoo! Hold this thing over right now!
You said that Sephiroth is your foe. I have a history with him.
You wouldn't believe what he can do!
Did they have the card game?
Wait, don't misunderstand. You'll need a way home. So when you're ready, I'll be here.
An emissary from Wutai is here, sent by Viceroy Saru.
With all this goddamn blood on my hands, how could I ever hold my daughter again?
Those we hate, those we love, those we fear. Genova would become anyone to fool
Yeah,
her
the
prey.
card game was in Final Fantasy VIII. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, they bringing it back? That's
Not
cool.
you.
Here, take it. This isn't about me, though. It's about saving the world. And you.
The reunion, when spite and sorrow are harvested to feed the planet.
Two disc. Yes, sir.
皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー7リバースディレクターの浜口直樹です。トレーラーはいかがでしたでしょうか。ここからは本作がどのようなゲームなのか、私から皆様にご紹介していきたいと思います。
I'm waiting, Cloud.
I was gonna say that's the first game.
In Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cloud and his companions triumph over destiny. Leaving the city of Midgar behind, they step out into an unfamiliar wilderness. It is here that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth begins. The stage upon which this ragtag band story unfolds is both vast and varied. The world is made up of multiple regions, all seamlessly interconnected. The Grasslands. Located due south of Midgard, this is where Cloud and the gang resume their adventure. The Junon region, where a metropolis by the same name overlooks the ocean, a symbol of Shinra's military might. The Karel region. The resort town of Costa del Sol adorns its northern shore, while the Gold Saucer stands as a gilded oasis above the Dust Bowl far to the south. The Gingaga region. Pay tribute to Zack by exploring his hometown, or visit what remains of the local
Man, there's gonna
Mako
be
reactor.
so much to explore.
The
Oh my
Cosmo
God.
Canyon region. Become one with the planet as you return to Red
I am
13's
so
roots.
taking my time with this game.
The Nebel region. Take a trip down memory lane with Cloud and Tifa, or stop by Shinra Manor, where Vincent rests in peace. Your adventure will even extend to the high seas. There's more to do than simply walk around, however. First, let's look at world intel. Assisting Chadley with his research will deepen his understanding of the world, allowing him to develop new materia.
Goodness, that's a huge
This
map,
research takes many forms, such as wrangling chocobos or playing with the Mooglets at their Mog stools. You may also come across sanctuaries brimming with knowledge of divine entities, or lairs inhabited by fearsome, unique foes. Chadley will also enlist your help in researching mysterious artifacts known as proto-relics. Each investigation is its own side story, featuring a colorful cast of characters, exciting new minigames, and ferocious creatures. Are you up for the challenge? And once you recover all the proto-relics scattered throughout the world, there's no telling what new developments might be in store. Next, let's talk about odd jobs. These quests offer a deep dive into the regions of the world and the crazy characters who inhabit them. As a merc, Cloud will accept work from people he meets in his travels and team up with his pals to solve their troubles. By helping those in need, he will also strengthen the bonds between him and his comrades. Each one of these odd jobs boasts a unique side story. Some, like Johnny's questline, borrow aspects from the original FF7, while others highlight content exclusive to Rebirth. You'll find all sorts of jobs the world over. And don't worry if you leave some for later. Story progression won't affect your side hustle. You can always go back to tie up loose ends. And this freedom to experience the story how you want is one of Rebirth's greatest strengths. While some minigames are tied to world intel and odd jobs, many are not. For example, popular ones in the Gold Saucer, such as 3D Brawler, G-Bike, and Chocobo Racing, are in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth 2. Others improve upon their remake versions, while still more are completely new to Rebirth. We've even fleshed out some of the mini-games that were featured as part of the original Final Fantasy VII's main scenario. Though this one is not in the original, I highly suggest you check out the card game, Queen's
There's a lot of stuff in this game.
No matter where you are in the story, it's sure to both challenge and entertain you. Enjoy collecting all the cards and building your own unique decks.
He's planning to use the black materia, but I won't let that happen. He has to be stopped by a Cetra, and I'm the last.
While mini-games and map exploration are a big part of Rebirth's charm, there's more to it than just that. Rebirth provides a cinematic experience
I can't
with even higher
afford
quality
that Apple
content
Vision Pro.
and more of it than Remake.
I can't afford that right now.
This installment follows Cloud and company after they escape
No,
Midgar,
sir.
up through to their arrival at the Forgotten Capital.
He said, you think we'll play as Sid or
We've
Vincent?
taken painstaking
I'm
care
hoping
to depict
Vincent.
how the group bonds during their journey.
I
One
wouldn't
that ultimately decides
I wouldn't see no
Aerith's
need to
fate.
play for Sid for me.
Once you
Personally,
finish
but
Rebirth,
that'll
I'm
be
sure
cool
you'll agree
if we
that
can play
no
with
other
Sid.
game makes you feel
I
quite
think
this
they'll
close to its
be
characters.
involved towards the end, but not playable, just like what they did with Red. Well, I'm hoping to
As
play
for
with
the
Vincent.
graphics,
I hope they have
Rebirth
something in
makes
here.
full use of the PlayStation 5
Where you
and
can
its
play as him.
SSD.
I also
Meaning
doubt
we could
Knights
use
of the
much
Round
higher
will be in
resolution
this game.
assets than we could in
Do you
Remake.
think it's going to be in the third game?
And they
I
will
figured
still load in the
Alexander
blink of an
or
eye.
Bahama Zero will be the strongest summon in Rebirth.
Maintain a 60 FPS frame rate.
So
with
do you think Knights of the
performance
Round will be in the third game? Yeah, yeah, you did mention that.
Prioritize 4K
The
resolution
Apple
with graphics
Vision
mode.
Pro is the rough draft for Ready Player One.
Whichever you prefer.
It's coming, like you
Rebirth
said,
has you
man.
covered. Each character interacts with the world in their own way. Barrett shoots objects. Yuffie swings across gaps. Tifa has her grappling gun. Red can climb along walls.
Cool.
Kate Sith grabs and throws items. And Aerith manipulates the life stream. Whatever challenges you face, your teammates will be ready to help you overcome them. Now for the music. We wanted to pay respect to the original FF7's tracks, but also challenge ourselves by matching the feeling of each scene, which resulted in some truly innovative arrangements. Like, for example, the following.
That was such an iconic summon. Knights of the Round will be saved for the final chapter. I wonder how big that game is going to be too.
How is that? If you enjoyed what you heard, we recorded
I think we
well
had a
over
conversation around it. I don't
400
think
new
it's
tracks for this game.
Probably
So
gonna
there's
be.
plenty more
It
of
depends
that
on how
for
much is in this game, and what changes are in this game from the actual original game. So it's going to be interesting.
Your party's bonds aren't just reflected in the story, but through gameplay as well.
But it required chocobo breeding, which is
The choices you
this
make
game.
throughout your
So I don't know.
adventure
It's going to
will
be
change
interesting
the way your comrades feel towards Cloud.
or to know.
At least I made that promise to you.
These feelings affect who will join you on a date in a gold saucer.
They did say we was going to
Something
have
I'm sure
a
many
few
of you are
surprises in
excited
this
about.
game. So
In fact, even allies who weren't available in the original
Looking forward to that.
FF7 can now accompany you, provided you play your cards right. The saucer is packed with many incredible sights to see and things to do. So your outing there will no doubt be a highlight of the game. Already have someone who you'd like to go with?
You first.
Cloud?
Well, we hope they feel the same way too. Your companions will share a bond not only with Cloud, but with each other as well. Your party level, a numerical expression of this bond, will increase as you overcome challenges.
I'm going to accompany you.
The higher this level, the more skills will become available in your character's folios, a mechanic new to Rebirth. By unlocking the skills etched in these tomes, your characters will grow stronger, and learn new synergy commands. Part of what makes Rebirth's combat so fun is all the different character combinations. Switch up your team to fit the situation, or even your mood. Every possible party combination has its own unique synergy commands. So once you find characters that work for you, focus on tweaking their skills to match your combat needs. And don't be afraid to experiment. You can reset your folios at any time.
That's cool.
With new characters and synergy commands at your disposal, Remake's satisfying hybrid of action combat and strategic planning has been made even more dynamic and engaging. We can't wait for you to experience all this and more in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PlayStation 5.
本作のクリエイティブディレクターの野村哲也です。いかがだったでしょうか。広大な世界で描かれるクラウドたちの物語にどうぞご期待ください。最後になりましたが、皆様に重要なお知らせがあります。
Here we go.
本日よりファイナルファンタジー7リバースを先行してプレイしていただける体験版を配信いたします。この体験版では物語の重要なポイントとなるニブルヘイム事件が収録されており、クラウドやセフィロスを操作することができます。さらに今回の体験版では発売までの間にアップデートが入り、ジュノンエリアの一部を探索できる追加デモが開放されます。本作の特徴である自由度の高いエリア探索を体験してください。詳細な情報は公式サイトや SNS をご確認ください。ぜひこの豪華な体験版をお楽しみいただきつつ、本作の発売をお待ちください。
Alright, so it seems like it's only for the PS5. It says maybe Remake was their own multiverse setup with the Harbingers and Master. Yes. Yep. So I'm looking forward to this story with those surprises and see what twists and turns and see how far they deviated from the original game. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I am gonna turn on the PlayStation. And we're gonna go looking for this. PlayStation. All right, so that is it for the state of play. Cool. I know it's kind of too early, but we're gonna check it out anyway. So let me switch over to. I'm gonna switch over to Gamecast. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna get all situated here. We're gonna see if we can find it. So let's do this. All right, so what did you guys think of the state of play? Not too much of you know, they did show some new stuff, but it's pretty much what I expected. They didn't show too much. They didn't give too much away. Just some stuff for what to expect in the game. We're just gonna search and see. It may be too early. What do you know? It's too early, probably. Come on, man. Oh, there it is. Nope, nope. I thought that was the demo. I'm not even sure if they even recognize. No, it's not listed yet. All right, guys. So it's not listed yet. So I'm definitely gonna download it and give it a play, but we're not gonna do a live stream today on it. So I'm pretty sure you guys will probably download it yourselves and play it. But so other than that, good state of play. Appreciate, you know, PlayStation and, you know, Square, you know, giving us some more insight on Rebirth, and I look forward to playing it. Oh, we're definitely gonna live stream it as well. So I know a lot of people are not gonna join the stream or, you know, to watch me play it. Probably pick it up yourselves and play it. But definitely gonna be playing the H out of that game. It's supposed to be available 7 p.m. Oh, 4 minutes. So, where am I? So we'll wait and see if it pops up. 4 minutes here. Let's see what they have here. All right, so still have to pick up Helldivers. Skull and Bones, I don't know yet. I think I'm just gonna wait. 2K24, that's looking good. Definitely gonna purchase that. So, Rise of the Ronin, gonna pick that up as well. I think that's it. It says most Ubisoft games go on sale only a month after release. No point in getting Skull and Bones day one. Oh man, there is a love and hate relationship. You know, when it comes to Ubisoft, man. I don't know what it is. Some people say that their games are good. A lot more people are saying that their game sucks. So it's interesting. So you may have a point there. So I may just wait and pick it up when it's at a discounted price. All right, we're gonna go out and go back in. All right, nothing yet. Nothing yet. There it is. Devon, you were right, man. So let's go ahead and download it. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's still uploading. It's not ready yet. They're making us wait. All right, let's check in here. Not missed it yet. No, Fortnite. He said, give us our government cheese already. Oh man, are you on your PlayStation right now, man? Or are you still at work? Try clicking on the regular game and then click the three. Oh, good point, man. Thank you. That could. Oh, jeez. Stop. Look at that, Andrew. You are a lifesaver, man. Because I would have been here like, dude, it's not showing up. What's going on? All right, so we got it added. It's downloading. I mean, while we're on here, we might as well just go ahead and play it. Oh, no. Nah, I'm not going to be able to play it because the basketball game is on. So, yes. So, I'm just going to go ahead and download this and play it offline. And right now the basketball game is on, so I was looking forward to watching that today. So thank you guys for stopping by and watching the State of Play with me, and we'll definitely we'll try to pick back up tomorrow and jump on something here, or probably just have a discussion around some other topics. But I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button on the way out for your boys. Show your boys some love. I really appreciate it. And also, just a reminder, we do have 2 giveaways that we're going to be doing. And winners will be announced on the 29th. The reason why we chose the 29th, because this is a leap year. And this is going to be a while before we see another leap year. So that's the reason why we chose that date. So we're giving away Dragon Ball Sparking 0, and we're also giving away PlayStation 5 faceplates and PlayStation controller set. So if you make sure you follow us out on Twitter, also subscribe to the YouTube channel to enter those giveaways. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Peace, and we are out.